Myth or fact? Can the joystick get stuck in the juicy part? Now, I can assure you that it's a very rare condition, but quite possible that during lovemaking this happens. So yes, it is very possible for the joystick to get stuck inside the juicy part during the act, even without the help of village people, even without the help of voodoo or witches from the village. All right, people who do charm just to catch cheating spouse. I know this thing typically happens in the South Delta state, where the husband feels like, you know, the wife has been cheating, and so they do something. They meet a native doctor to do something to make sure that, to do a charm around the woman. I think they do the charm around the woman and they sleep with the woman, and she goes, if she truly is cheating with another man and she sleeps with the man that she's cheating with, they would get stuck together until they're found. And when they're found, unless the husband says he frees the woman out of that charm, she gets stuck for a long time, and it can even lead to death, or they take them to the hospital. I have heard something like that happen, but I've never seen it before. So I just thought about it, and I was like, could it be that this could be a medical condition, all right, or a happenstance, not necessarily a superstitious African belief that we grew up knowing? So what I did was do a little bit of research, and I came out to realize that, you know, what happens at that instance is that the muscle of the juicy part clamps down on the joystick more firmly than usual, making it impossible for the joystick to withdraw freely from the juicy part. And in case this happens to you, in the event of this occurrence, what you need to do is to not panic. In case you're not cheating with another person, right? If it happens in a clean relationship where you both are exclusive together, then both of you could just calm down and not panic. You know why? Because after orgasm, the contracted cookie muscles begin to relax and blood will start to flow out of the joystick, you know, making it easy for the joystick to pull out easily from the juicy part. So you could expect to be stuck together for a few seconds, sometimes, you know, maybe minutes, all right? But staying calm and letting the muscles relax will help you unhook from each other. But the funny thing is that the typical juicy part contractions may be pleasurable for the man at that point, because the increased pressure around the joystick may intensify sensation. However, the pleasing pressure may not be pleasant enough to overrule the worries about, you know, the predicament you and the woman is in. But it's unlikely to hurt. All right, it's unlikely to hurt you or unlikely to hurt the woman. The only thing is that the woman might feel a little bit of, you know, pull or pain or a little bit of discomfort. All right, although this case is rare in humans, this can indeed happen, but it's called penis captivus. All right, you know, when dogs copulate, at the end of it, they get hooked together. That's the same thing that happens if it happens to humans. It's just similar to the way dogs are stuck together after copulation, but that of the dog is less severe compared to the male-female human captivus. So what this means is that the male can actually be set free if he and she relaxes. That's the key to being set free. If you both can just relax, the blood will start to flow out from the engorged joystick, and the muscles around the cookie walls start to release, and then there is a loosening. It's just basically urban knowledge, but this supposedly occurs when the male and the female, you know, may be virgins, and the male is above average in his joystick head size. Apparently, at some point, the female coochie's muscles, you know, perhaps due to nervousness or fear or getting caught in the act, could go into spasm that can lock down and trap the head of the joystick. So like a boa contractor, the more the male tries to withdraw, the tighter the involuntary muscle grips. All right, now in dogs it is suggested that this happens to ensure successful reproduction, right? But if this happens with human, It could possibly be quite erotic and intriguing from the excitement of possibly getting caught. It could also be embarrassing to be caught in that act. And the funny thing is that emergency rooms have seen it all, from being stuck to having to remove strange objects in the inappropriate places to having to separate people who both had their teeth braces stuck together while kissing. Honestly, it sounds amazing and very funny and creepy at the same time. Most Africans term it superstitious as a form of punishment for infidelity, but it is very unclear how often joystick captivus occurs, because couples may be able to disconnect from one another before medical attention is necessary, and they may never report this incident to the doctor. So we don't know the number or the statistics of this kind of occurrence. But in the event that you find yourself unable to disengage from intercourse, it's important to stay calm. Knowing what's happening can help you and your partner wait out the ordeal. All right, so do not freak out. So you might be asking, how does this even happen? Now listen, for the joystick captivus to occur, a series of events during lovemaking must take place. The joystick, which fills up with blood during erection, may continue to grow in size before orgasm. Now the cookie walls, which are made of muscular tissue, expands and contract during lovemaking. So the muscles inside the juicy part, the canal, may begin to pulse slightly during orgasm too, and maybe more aggressively and more tighter. But on this occasion, the cookie muscles may contract more than typical, all right, more than ordinary. I tell you, the body is so amazing. It's so, it's very complex, because these contractions can narrow the opening of the juicy part, and this narrowing of the juicy part can prevent the man from removing his joystick, especially if he's still engorged and erect. So after orgasm, the cookie muscles will begin to relax. If she's not afraid, if she's relaxed, it will loosen up. And if peradventure during that process the man also reaches orgasm, the blood will begin to drain from his joystick and the erection would ease. In that event, you may be able to remove the joystick from the coochie as this event even occurs, because you've orgasmed as a man, you've released at that time. And this condition is one manifestation of vaginismus. It's a condition, all right? Remember I talked about it before, where vaginismus is a strict contraction of the juicy part muscles that is so strong. The juicy part essentially closes itself, all right? It locks up. And when this occurs, a woman may be unable to have intercourse. It could also prevent medical examination. If you haven't watched my video on vaginismus, I'm going to link it here so that you could understand what happens. It happens to women who are not relaxed when they're having intercourse, or they're scared, or they just have some sort of feeling when it comes to intimacy with their partner. So while you're stuck together, it's important you don't do anything that could hurt you or cause additional pain. This means that you shouldn't even try to forcibly pry yourself from your partner or remove yourself from your partner. Don't force it. Additional lubrication is unlikely to fix the situation. You need to know that. Instead, try to remain calm and let the muscle relax on their own. Of course, while it may feel much longer, most couples will only be stuck for a few seconds. So don't panic. It's a very rare occurrence. Most couples will never experience it. And I hope this helps you. Peradventure you find yourself in that type of situation. This is also to say that if you're engaging in intimacy, make sure that your mind, your soul, your body are all into it. You're free from fear, you're free from anything, and that means that you should be doing it with your partner, with your rightful partner. Don't go and do it with someone who is not your partner, and at the end of the day you're watching your back, you're not even concentrating, and any slight noise or someone knocking at the door, you just get scared because you think that someone is going to catch you in the act with someone who is not rightfully yours. And as a result of that, you know how the body works. It could just shut down on its own without any effort from you. The body, like I said earlier on, the body is just a miracle. The way it functions, right? The body switches off or switches on or switches up in a split second without you knowing, okay? And that's the same thing that applies even down there, okay? So if ever you find yourself in this situation, I hope that you find this video helpful And I'm trusting that you will never find yourself in that predicament, especially if you're not with your rightful partner. I keep saying that. That's why most Africans think it's, you know, it's a charm, especially if the woman is with a man who is not her boyfriend or her husband. Okay, I've seen that happen. Anyways, thank you so much for being part of this show. Until next time when I come, do have a swell time. I love you. Mwah.